What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Question Time Bancroft and bringing you all the second episode of Time Wars. And today I'm being joined by Fluff.
What up, people?
And today's history fight, more or less, is the moment where Goku sees the moon while kind of captured inside Pilaf's castle. He breaks free as the giant ape, so we have the promo ape Goku taking on Pilaf and the gang. This was a very interesting match, and before we do anything else, there's buttons, check them out, but let's get into it. So, this was an interesting build, but before I kind of go into my build, let's go into the more easier build. Fluff, talk about yours for a second.
Take everything out of set 10, jam it in at like a 4 of, and you got the build. So nothing really crazy. It does run the Roshi Unison from Draftbox 3, I think.
Yeah. And much like I mentioned in the first video, I didn't mention this one. The decks are two things. First thing is as theme as possible to the event that is happening. And then the second thing is you need a deck to work. So obviously you make the deck that works with the leader as well. In this case, unisons are required for this leader to be really good.
That's really pretty much it. I don't think there's anything like spicy. Like I said, most of it comes out of straight 10 as it would have been seen in set 10, minus that Roshi Unison. So the whole game is kind of like an aggro mid-range deck with the defenses of red. That's the best way to kind of think about what this deck does. And by defenses of red, I mean like none.
I mean, you got the testings, you got the after images. I think that's about it, really, though, because
there's a couple wolf things in there.
Yeah, wolf things.
But I didn't jam Topo into the deck just because like the curve doesn't really allow for Topo because you're spending 2 to 3 energy every turn. So there's really no way to jam Topo into this.
And starting out with your shoe, just kind of get on the board, just to use the energy. You weren't 100%. Oh, you were kind of familiar with my build, so I think there was a level of like you knew you were safe to some degree, putting that on the board as well.
Safe-ish. And then I realized that, Shoe's ability, I think you have to be at 3 energy to do.
Yes, it's a turn 3 play.
So I was like, crap, can I get this to stick around until turn 3? I guess we're going to find out.
So let's touch base on my build then. As you can see, I do have a green-red energy setup. This is actually a tricolor deck. So this particular leader has a permanent where it's considered red, blue, yellow as well. So you could play a lot of cards that require that said leader. The problem with building this deck, and I remember when I was putting together, I had to reach out to Jimmy, primarily because I couldn't remember how the rolling worked when a deck when a card specifies a mono color leader. So originally I had Dormants in the deck, and I was like, oh wait, those say mono green. Technically, it's not a mono green card. And I couldn't remember how the full wording works, so I initially just took those cards out. So I'm not incorporating anything like that. This is naturally a green leader. It's also considered other colors. But the theme I was trying to go for, obviously, was something Goku Ape adjacent. And I do play a lot of like Kid Goku stuff, like a lot of the red-green Arrival stuff. The Vegeta is really, I play a 2 of in this deck. It's an attack choice. Mainly it was supposed to be my turn 1 charge, because I did go first. I couldn't benefit from Fluff reducing his hand down to 5, just get a free charge out of the way. So I just played it. It's one that, I think my energy cards are typically the non-Goku-ish cards in my deck. But it provides really good defensive purposes, especially against Pilaf, because since my leader is considered green, it gets to restand at the end of my turn, and then if I activate blocker, it also restands. So initially, I could potentially block 2 of your attacks coming at me this turn.
It was definitely a pain in the butt to try to get around.
Yeah, especially the fact that it's a 16k, and you're about to play a bunch of 15ks, and if you want to kill it, you have to expend resources out of your hand.
Which, one of the problems with Pilaf is that it just doesn't draw a lot. I mean, it gets the normal, like, on-curve draw for the leader's ability, but the battle cards don't replace themselves when you play them. Now, granted, the Shu is letting me board up and go wide here, which would be really devastating if you didn't get 2 blocks out of this Vegeta. And on this first swing, I thought the Vegeta was 15K. And you were like, yeah, 16K. I was like, well, shit.
You do look at your hand for like a brief moment, and you said, "Nah, it's fine."
When deep down it wasn't. um, this Vegeta put in a ton of work. Just stopping, a certain percentage of my attacks, which you'll get to see. This turn is incredibly explosive.
Yeah, let's look at it right now. I Before your turn started, I was at 5 life. So
Yeah, so there I was kind of evaluating the hand, and I didn't want to like put anything into it. So I'm just gonna have to take the 2 blocks as they come. Thankfully, I don't lose my battle cards.
yeah. So I do take the third one, and then I there is a moment. I can't remember exactly what Pilaf's awakening effect is. If it's a hybrid restand or draw, I feel like it's a restand.
It's a hybrid, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Oh, I
Um,
remember now what you do. Yeah, this gets really cheeky in my opinion, and I do like it. So you swing a Hiroshi. Um, you don't combo. Sorry, you don't combo. I combo Nimbus Master, which kind of helps me go over the rest of the engine. And I do incorporate skillless Yamchas in my deck because Yamcha was there when all this things was happening. So I wanted to put in Krillin. I wanted to kind of like throw in a Oolong, and I wanted to throw in some Bulmas because they were all there for the event, or for this particular episode we're kind of covering. But I just couldn't fit it all. I'm trying to keep the deck 50 cards, but putting a 20k skills on the board, um, and I had to combo additional card to get out the attack because the Roshi is a 5k boost. But I thought you played Roshi before you awaken. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say. So you play another unison on top of that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's not cool. Because now I know from here, you're awakening, you can use the leader's effect, give it triple attack, and I'm tapped out. Yes, the awaken on the promo Goku will restand in energy, and I am playing yellow, so there is a a really good yellow Flygate if you're playing its battle cards, which is Nimbus. So instead, I just restand the multicolor cards. I'm expecting you to kind of go all out with this unison attack before you pass turn.
I, I'll say, like, you mentioned Nimbus. Nimbus shuts this deck down, which
It shuts down, I want to say, half your deck because, like I said, your leader ability, give this card triple attack. Even if I had Nimbus in my hand at the time, does nothing on these
well,
swings.
with Pilaf, I've always said that Pilaf is really good about dealing 7 damage, but it's very difficult for Pilaf to deal that final 8th damage. So Nimbus eliminates a large percentage chance that you're going to be able to do that because your large body swings are going to come from battle cards. So when you didn't restand a yellow, I had a fresher breath there. I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to get full combo this turn and just make you waste cards in your hand to not take damage, or I'm loading your gun.
And it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm forced to start taking hits because if not, um, you're still full in energy. Like you haven't tapped a card down yet. You still have the leader swing, so like I have to plan like how aggressive can you be? Which attacks are worth taking damage for, and which attacks aren't worth taking damage right now.
Yeah. And that's what I didn't know is I didn't know how defensive you were going to be. I'm sitting looking at your field. You have a 16k dual attack. You have a 20k vanilla body, it's very possible that you're going to be able to put out another vanilla body or something else. So I really want to try to clean the game up here, if at all possible, or try to get you to like maybe spin that Yamcha in a combo
I
or
do
something like that.
I do need coverage real quick. So as soon as I drew one of my cards, I immediately realized the text says mono red. So the card slipped over my warp. The deck that I built played two after images and two
Testing
testing
opposition.
opposition. And testing opposition states a multicolor. Sorry, states a mono red leader. So I immediately just like went backwards away from the camera, flipped the card around real quick, and like two of my cards are now becoming after images, and you immediately knew what cards those were.
Yeah. Not that they matter that much. You're not at bursting, so you don't have the ability to burst a card out in your drop area right now. It looks like you have 4 cards in your drop area. I've got you to burn 2 super combos, which I feel really good about.
Yeah, I was gonna take a life for the testing, and that's when I realized I'm like crap. So that's why I started putting cards into my drop instead. I don't know why Z charged that one because initially I think I comboed a yellow Goku, immediately put it into my drop. But here, we were talking about you've already swung your 3 attacks with that card,
Yeah.
and you decided to pass. And this is one of those things where it's like you have 6 life, you have a decent amount of cards in your hand.
I think I'm sitting at 6.
Yeah, you're sitting at
I'm,
6 life.
oh, I mean, in cards in hand. I've either got
Oh,
5 or 6.
okay, okay.
I don't have a ton of cards in my hand.
It, I don't. I don't have the cards I want. Let's put it that way, because I do. I played 2 of in the deck March of the Great Apes, Great Ape, which is a 4 cost 1 Pacific Yellow, which plays 2 Great Ape cards from your hand that each cost 4 or less. And because I'm going the theme of the deck, the only Great Apes I have in my deck are Goku's, which is either Saiyan Instincts or the red one from like set 5, I think it was, which are crits. And initially could pop another card to re-Saiyan itself to swing again. So like potentially, and it's once per turn, not a limit one. So the thought process hopefully is on turn 4 was to play 2 apes, swing of both of them, pop one of the cards that are on the board to restand the one, swing it, and then pop that one to restand the other one, and swing with that, and then be a really good aggressive turn 4 play. But I didn't see that, and I had to kind of like go around different routes.
I included as part of this list to stop different floodgates being Pilaf's missile,
Yeah,
which is really strong at stopping particular floodgates. The one thing that doesn't stop is it does not stop extra card floodgates, which you'll see is kind of punishing here. I do decide to go ahead and peel off missile the oolong here, I believe.
yeah, yeah. You do. You're since you're tapped out, you're able to discard 2 cards from your hand to play it for free, and you're just kind of going, and then it boosts the leader, which is really nice on your part, kind of helps protect you. And because my leader is a great ape, and because my leader is considered yellow, I do play a the starter coup Z leader in my Z deck. And I think after I swung with my leader at you, I thought about like, oh man, I could have just done this instead. So this is additional tech option I incorporated in the deck because I wanted to incorporate like I mentioned earlier, Kid Goku stuff or Great Ape stuff, and this is yes, it's from the movie with Ader. It has nothing to do with with this scene or whatnot, but it's a Kid Goku, which helps me play other parts of my engine, which in this case I'm playing a Yamcha, and I'm just really just focusing on your unison because I don't want to have to combo out. So my first couple of swings with Vegeta went straight into your unison to clear out, and I'm like, at this point, I might as well just finish your unison off, you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the double strike on you earlier, but you did super combo out. You combo out that, if I recall correctly.
that Goku card is really strong and is really punishing if you let it stick around for too long. My hope is that I'm going to close out the game this turn. So I'm not going to worry about trying to get rid of that card, but comboing out to prevent taking the damage. Maybe I should have taken the damage because doing the Pilaf's missile and ripping 2 cards out of my hand is, in hindsight, probably a misplay. I should have just let the Oolong stick around. Just because now my hand size is so poor. And there you flip down the Nimbus. And once I saw that Nimbus, I was like, yeah, there's not really anything I can do.
Yeah. Um. I Nimbus, you have to discard yellow card. I did it really fast. I just kind of I'm used to just swooping the card underneath the card, like when I do petrification and stuff like that. It was a yellow card. I think it was my utter tyrannical blow is what I pitched. I will say going down the one was very scary. Um, but I asked you what your hand size was, and I was thinking about. I'm like, okay, there's not a way that he could super combo, but depending on how many super combos you had in your hand was very dangerous. So I did decide, I think, block it, and the Vegeta restands right away when you activate block.
Because you had that double blocker on the field and you were able to combo out of what I just did, there's no way for me to clean this game up. The best that I can hope for is get that Vegeta off the field. I think I have 3 or 4 cards left in my hand at this point. I didn't even spend energy on that turn because there was nothing in my hand that was worth spending energy on.
Yeah. And so going through this turn, so sorry, you did realize that you could have done an additional play. I think after you passed, you're like, I fucked up. I'm like, what? And you're like, I think I could have gotten the game. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I could have paid 1 for the shoe, activated the shoe's ability, play the Mai from my hand. The Mai will play out the garlic or the Pilaf and the shoe from the deck. And then I activate Leader's Effect to clean up the 3 and give my Roshi triple attack.
Yeah.
So it would have been 320k swings at your lead.
Which one of them would have been blocked. And
yeah.
I think I have like 4 or 5 cards in my hand. Maybe a little bit more. And depending on what you had the combo with. So here, I swing with the leader to get the draw off it. And then immediately evolve. Immediately Z Awaken into this Goku because it just specifies, I think, childhood grade ape is what it specifies.
Yeah. Yep.
And we went to this. Also, I didn't mention earlier in the video, the reason why we're using promo ape, if in case hopefully you're still here at this point, is because we realized that there's no way in hell that Pilaf has a chance against Starter Coup, and we needed to give it some form of at least a decent matchup. And so in this case,
this is Jank on Jank.
Sorry, say it again.
This is Jank on Jank.
Yeah.
And then taking a double strike crit there is just punishing. And then basically all you got to do is hit with this double strike, combo out.
Yeah, I think you even say like just combo 1 card. I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting there. Hang on. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So with that, much like the show, Goku breaks free, destroys Pilaf Castle, kind of goes on a little rampage, and Pilaf and the gang have to scurry away while Great Ape is getting his tail cut off by someone else in the series. Thanks for tuning in. And for our next match,